Have you ever heard the sound of a train whistle late at night, echoing through the hills? In West Virginia, there's a ghost train called the Midnight Express that carries passengers who never reach their destination. Gather round, because this is a story that will send shivers down your spine and keep you guessing until the very end. Once upon a time, in a small town called Willow Creek, surrounded by thick forests and misty mountains, people often whispered about a mysterious train that rode through the night. This train was not just any train, it was known as the Midnight Express, and it was said to be haunted. The townsfolk told tales of passengers who boarded the train long ago and vanished without a trace. Every evening, children would gather around their parents to hear the spine-chilling stories of the ghost train. They spoke of glowing lights in the distance, a haunting whistle that sent chills down their spines, and the most terrifying part, those who boarded the Midnight Express never came back. Among the children of Willow Creek was a brave girl named Lily. With her bright blue eyes and wild, curly hair, she was known for her adventurous spirit. One chilly autumn evening, as the leaves danced in the wind, Lily decided it was time to uncover the truth about the ghost train. "Come on, everyone," she called to her friends, Tommy, Mia, and Jake. They all looked at her with wide eyes, unsure about what lay ahead. "But what if it's haunted?" Mia asked, shivering slightly. "Haunted or not, we have to see it for ourselves." Lily insisted, her heart racing with excitement and a hint of fear. As the sun dipped below the mountains, the four friends tiptoed into the dark woods, their flashlights flickering like fireflies. The old train tracks, overgrown with grass and weeds, stretched out in front of them. The moon shone brightly above, casting an eerie glow on the scene. Suddenly, they heard it, a distant whistle. It echoed through the trees, sharp and clear. "Did you hear that?" Tommy whispered, his eyes wide with awe. "Yes. It's the ghost train." Jake shouted, trying to sound brave, but he couldn't hide his trembling voice. They hurried down the tracks, the sound growing louder with each step. Soon, they reached the old train station, a crumbling building covered in vines and shadows. It looked like something straight out of a spooky movie. "Do you think it's really here?" Mia asked, peeking through a dusty window. Just then, the ground shook and a brilliant light appeared in the distance. The children gasped in awe. "It's coming!" Lily shouted, her heart racing like a drum. As the Midnight Express pulled into the station, it looked just as the legends described, bright lights flickering, steam billowing, and the doors creaking open as if inviting them inside. "Should we go on?" Tommy asked, his voice quivering. "Yes," Lily replied, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We have to see what it's like." One by one, they climbed aboard the train. Inside, everything was beautifully decorated, just like in the old stories. Plush red seats, golden chandeliers, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. But as they looked around, they noticed something strange. No one else was there. "Where are all the passengers?" Jake wondered aloud. "Maybe they're just shy," Lily said, trying to reassure her friends. Suddenly, the train lurched forward, and the children grabbed their seats. The Midnight Express sped into the dark night, taking them on an exhilarating ride. They laughed and screamed with delight as they zoomed past trees and hills, feeling like they were flying. But then, everything changed. The train began to slow down, and a heavy fog rolled in. The laughter faded, replaced by eerie silence. "What's happening?" Mia asked, her voice trembling. "We're approaching the old bridge," Tommy shouted, pointing out the window. They could see the bridge looming in the distance, just like the one in the stories. "Isn't that where the accident happened?" Jake asked, his heart pounding. "Yes," Lily replied, her eyes wide with fear. "We need to get off." Just then, the train stopped and the doors swung open. The children looked around, their hearts racing. They saw ghostly figures, passengers from long ago, standing at the end of the car. Their faces were pale, and their eyes were filled with longing. "Help us," a soft voice called out. "We can't leave until someone remembers our story." Lily stepped forward, feeling brave. "What happened to you?" she asked, her voice steady. We were lost in the storm, and our train crashed, another ghostly figure explained, his voice like a gentle breeze. Now we are trapped here, waiting for someone to tell our tale. Lily turned to her friends, her heart aching for the lost souls. We have to help them. We can tell everyone in town. The ghostly passengers nodded, their faces lighting up with hope. Please, remember us. Share our story so we can finally rest. As the children agreed, the train shook violently. The lights flickered, and the temperature dropped. We're losing them. Tommy cried. Hold on tight. Lily shouted as she grabbed her friend's hands. They squeezed together, determined to help the ghosts. In that moment, the train filled with bright light, and the ghostly figures began to shimmer. Thank you, they echoed, their voices mixing together like a sweet melody. Suddenly, the train jolted, and the children felt a rush of wind. When the dust settled, they found themselves back at the old train station. The Midnight Express had vanished, but the echoes of the ghosts lingered in the air. The next day, Lily gathered her friends and the townspeople. With excitement bubbling in her chest, she shared the incredible adventure they had. Everyone listened, wide-eyed and spellbound, as she told them about the ghostly passengers and the Midnight Express. From that day on, the town celebrated the memory of the train and its lost passengers. They shared stories, sang songs, and lit lanterns in honor of the spirits. No longer were they afraid of the ghost train, it became a symbol of love and remembrance. If you enjoyed this thrilling tale of the ghost train and want to hear more exciting stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Join us for more adventures, mysteries, and fun tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat. But on nights when the moon is full and the stars twinkle brightly, some children still claim to see the lights of the Midnight Express flickering in the distance. And if you listen closely, you might hear the whispers of the ghostly passengers, forever grateful that their story will never be forgotten. So remember, the Midnight Express is always waiting, ready to share its tale with those who dare to listen.